Hey everyone, and welcome to another week of The Lost Resort. This is a weekly streaming show coming at you live every Thursday. This week we will be discussing dance music culture in the UK and what it's like to move from the underground to the mainstream and do live performances all over the world. My guests today are UK duo and global dance sensations, Gorgon City. Kai and Matt, aka Gorgon City, have seen stellar success over the past 5 years thanks to their blend of bass-driven house and addictive vocals. They've toured the world, garnered over 700 million streams, and had their own label, Realm Records.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
That was like a weird sequence that came in. Hey guys. So how are you guys doing? Actually, first of all, let me know where you guys are streaming in from today.
So yeah, I'm here in London in our studio, and I'm here with Matt Kidnap, who shares the studio with us. We just finished a live stream, so he's still here, and I thought he could sit in on this and just say hello.
Hello, everyone. Yeah,
yes,
I'm crashing the stream.
Literally say hello.
but this is me and Kai's studio, essentially. Like, this is where we write all of our music over the past, 7 years. We've written all of our albums in this room. So we're here right now. And so we're in London, and obviously Kai is
I'm in Chicago. I moved here like a year ago. And, before the lockdown, we'd still make our music in London. I'd be like flying back and forth. But after the lockdown happened, we've been like working remotely. So we'll be working on music together, but firing projects back and forth.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a bit a bit of a challenge, since COVID started the lockdown. But it's been going good. Yeah, it's been crazy because I think me and Matt started touring like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time where we've actually not been traveling. Last 3 months, it's just actually finally had a rest.
I know.
But this is the longest period we've ever spent apart. Since eight years ago. So it's quite
man.
Yeah. I really Kai is quite deep. It's like
you guys miss each other.
Yeah. It's a long time. We're so used to seeing each other every day, whether it's at the airport or on the airplane or in it's such a constant thing touring.
Yeah.
Every side of it's like we're so used to seeing each other, and then when we come back from tour, we get in the studio together and finish the songs and finish the tunes. And this is the first time in literally 8 years that we haven't seen each other.
I was thinking about that earlier. It's been 8 years where it's just constant touring, studio, touring again, traveling, and then finally, maybe it's a good thing that we've got a bit of a break, a bit of a rest, but
no, but it's good.
Time to rest, but
after a while, I really miss you guys. So it's quite
miss you too, man.
I know. I miss people,
Yeah.
When's the last? I mean, I guess now everyone's kind of starting to emerge from their caves, but it's weird when you're just in a small bubble, and then you go outside. You're there's this sense of agoraphobia where you're wow, I'm not used to the outside world. Just readjusting again.
Yeah, I feel like time goes so slowly as well when you're not traveling.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 or 3 months, but it seems like forever.
Yeah, it feels like constant limbo, right? I can't tell. I don't remember any of April. Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened to anything at all. Any specific day in April, I don't remember because I also tour really heavily, and it's this forced, not vacation, but it's this forced rest, and people are always really nonstop. And this is the first time where I've been able to sleep throughout the night without having to wake up really early to get on another airplane. And I don't know about you guys, but that's been kind of nice for me.
Yeah, definitely. those 1 hour disco nap before going to a club or an airport.
Yeah.
I don't miss that.
Yeah, this is the first time I've managed to have a consistent sleep pattern in a long time. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, since I was 18, the most I've ever slept. Literally, that's a long time. Literally, so I actually feel a lot healthier at the moment, compared to literally my whole life since I was 18, especially since Gorgon sort of blew up, 5-6 years ago. this is the longest time I've spent away from an airplane or an airport. And like, yeah, I do feel healthier, but I miss touring.
Yeah.
Miss Kai. No, but we miss touring, we miss DJing together. It's that energy. It's like we just did a live stream together, me and Matt, and that was the first time both of us had like DJ'd with anyone else since lockdown. So just like off each other's energy, like you're like, oh yeah, I made this tune yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I made this tune today. Like,
make it a whole different experience.
Yeah, and you
just playing tunes by yourself in the room.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's nice to have that connection again, and it's slowly coming back. Hopefully, it will get more and more easy to DJ with each other again. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, it's interesting, this whole lockdown thing, and how it's also, I mean, it's global. Everyone's locked down kind of everywhere except New Zealand and all the places that have successfully ridded themselves of COVID. But actually, on July 4th, England is reopening, so pubs are about to reopen. How do you guys feel about that? Kind of big news.
Yeah.
Is it scary? Are you guys okay with it?
I feel pretty good about it on the whole. Controversial, but
I feel good that they're opening, but I'm not going anywhere near like Hackney, Wick, or Victoria Park.
Don't go near London Fields, and then you're fine.
Just don't go to Hackney basically on that night, because it will be complete carnage. Already, it's been complete carnage in Hackney. No, like, you know, beef or, you know, offense to Hackney, but it's, you know, you know, and it's like when those pubs open, it's going to be like a full-on festival on the street, and in the squat parties, warehouses, everything is just going to, you know, explode. But yeah,
I'm up for it.
I'd be I could, but I got to stay away. I don't know. London's quite intense like that.
Self-control.
Yeah, quite intense like that. It's like certain areas are so party driven, and if you know don't live in those areas, you sort of don't see it. But like if you go to Hackney now, as things are slowly opening up, especially around the parks, like in Victoria Park, London Fields, it's like, you know, there's been massive kind of outrage of the people just in the park having kind of mini little festivals with like mini rigs and just playing, you know, dance music and whatever, and they're just ruining the area. And there's been, you know, loads of complaints from the local council, and everything's a bit difficult. But you know, if I was probably like 10 years younger, I'd probably be doing exactly the same thing. So I can't really say anything.
Yeah, I think about that too. I was like, do I want to go get a pint, or do I want to stay at home? I mean, so overall though, like, you know, obviously this is 3 months of no touring for anyone. So it's a complete blackout of social events for people all around the world. And do you guys think that this kind of shifted the ecosystem? Like, how do you guys think parties will be, clubs, festivals? How do you think we're going to carry forward? Because I know right now many festivals are booking for 2021, and yet I'm not sure how that's going to happen. Not in terms of the disease, but I wonder what they're going to do procedurally. And what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be like so different. I think things will never be the same again. And, you know, in Chicago, there's been bars and restaurants opening up. And, you know, it's just as soon as you walk in, if you're not at your table, you've got to wear the mask. And yeah, I think it's going to be like that, especially for the first few months when things do open up. Everyone will be on the dance floor, masks on, and, you know, like places are open up at the moment, but they're like 25% capacity just to have a bit of distance with each other. And I think it'll be like that for a long time. And I think things are never going to be the same again. Like, you know, just walking around, like seeing people, everyone wearing masks, and that's like the new normal.
Yeah. So you're talking about Chicago specifically, like right now?
Yeah, or I think like just in general, just everywhere, it's going to be like that.
I just feel like it's very different. All over the world, it's very different. Like
by like summer next year, things are pretty much going to be back to normal. And like this has a big second wave. I think festivals will be able to run like maybe like some people won't be that comfortable. But I think,
yeah,
like I think there'll be like an ease into it over the rest of this summer, and then by next year,
I think America is going to be an interesting model. Like as
like every state is different.
It's so big, and there's so many different states, and there's so many ideologies in the United States. And you know, for us, it's like obviously that's where our biggest market is. That's where our biggest like fan base is. And obviously, Kai's in Chicago. I'm in London, so I'm at the moment I'm removed from that. But like for example, we've got a show where we're headlining on the 15th of September in North Carolina. And that's obviously like a red state, and that is a state which is going to be opening up before states like, you know, New York and California and Illinois, like where Kai is. So it's a big
it's like it feels like every state is so different. It's almost like they're their own country where they have their own rules and they have their own approach on it. Where in Europe, like every country has their own approach on it. Where in America, it's like it's a big country. That
exactly. Spain is different to England and the UK, and obviously Spain just opened up, and like, but also at the same time they announced that, you know, no clubs in Ibiza are going to be open this year. And like, obviously, me and Kai, we've been playing in Ibiza every year for the past, you know, 6-7 years. We've got our residency there. That's where we spend pretty much our whole summer, like every year. The island is a big part of our, you know, act and our sort of like life in when it comes to, you know, the end of April until October. And we're used to being out there, you know, every week for the whole season. And you know, just getting told that, you know, the clubs are going to be opening this year, it's a massive thing. Like it's basically just like, you know, the season is cancelled, and that is, you know, in my opinion, that's definitely the right thing to do. I wouldn't feel comfortable going and playing in Eden, where we play every week, in front of, you know, 4,000 people without, you know, proper testing and proper, like, you know, measures being taken to make sure everyone is safe. Like, I don't want to be the DJ that causes loads of infections. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go to somewhere and play somewhere where loads of people get sick. Do you know what I mean? And take 100%. It home and make their family sick. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that. And I feel like a lot of, in Europe, it definitely feels like that. Like, you know, even like Simon Dunmore, who runs Defected and is kind of like the boss of what we do now in Ibiza. It's like he announced, like, even before they said that they were going to open up in July, he said they're not going to open up. Before the other clubs said they weren't going to open up, he said he doesn't want any of the Defected fans in danger or in, you know, in that situation where they could get sick because of what's happening. And like, I completely agree with that. In Europe, it's a different kind of, it's a different world. Obviously, in the States, it's kind of like you have this president which has these weird ideas, and, you know,
so weird.
You know, like in Britain, like, you know, I'm not saying Boris Johnson is any better. He's an absolute nightmare as well. But yeah, at the same time, I don't want to get too political.
Going too deep too early.
I don't want to get cut down. Shut down. But yeah,
so anyway, what have you been eating?
So anyway,
well, I mean, it's interesting because even for businesses, at least in LA where I am, you know, it's a big risk to open. People are doing it because it's financially necessary. Let's say restaurants, but at the same time, if a single person gets infected and says, you know, I got infected because I went to this restaurant, the whole restaurant has to shut down again and go through a whole procedure of sanitizing. And so I can understand with the club music festival scene, if one person messes up, it can ruin it for everyone. So it's really important for us to be more conscientious and more cautious, because we're the one, like, this industry is the one that people are worried about the most. Like, everything's going to open, and music and entertainment is like the very, very last because of the risk involved. So I think that's the responsible thing. And I would never want to be responsible for anyone else getting sick, or a whole bunch of people, in fact.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's just so it's very, because we're getting so many different messages from
it's hard to navigate
countries, all the different leaders. And it's like us in London, like me and Kai are so used to just being in Ibiza all summer, and like before they said last week, or was it 10 days ago, that there'd be no clubs open this summer, like I was quite confident it might happen. Well, I was just like, yeah, they're opening up in July, like they'll probably open the clubs. So then I spoke to my friend who lives out there, who's a really good friend of mine that I normally stay with. He was just like, don't get your hopes up, whatever. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And then obviously they said there's no more clubs, but then I was just like, I'm going to come out and see you. So I'm going there in 2 weeks anyway, for 2 weeks. Just no clubbing. I'm just going to go and chill, and just enjoy the island. And
yeah, I love Ibiza. That's the thing about Ibiza. There's so many different aspects of it. Like you can go and you can live there and not club at all, and just enjoy it's just such a beautiful island, and it's not all about the clubbing. Like I think when a lot of people who haven't been, when they think of Ibiza, they just think clubs, almost like somewhere like Miami or something. But it's just so much more than that, and you can go there and just chill on a farm and like just not
even see a club.
Surprised, I'm like farm.
Yeah. But you wouldn't even see it in a nightclub, like I've been looking to move there as well. It's like Kai's moved to Chicago recently, and like obviously we were both in England, in southeast England, like around London, and like Kai's moved to Chicago, and at the time he was moving there, I was looking to move to Ibiza, and I nearly bought a place in Ibiza, but it fell through just before COVID, and so obviously it fell apart because of the whole COVID thing. And so still, like I feel like I still love London, but like I feel much more connected to Ibiza, and I'd love to live there, and like it's part of our sort of like makeup, Yeah,
we've got friends who live in Ibiza, and we talk to them. They're like, I just never go to clubs. They're like, yeah, we'll see them. They're like, come to the club with us, and it's like this. What? This is the first time I've been to a club in a month.
But they also say, that they're never going to move back to England ever again. That's
neither.
England is kind of it's cold, and it's
Right. Anyway, I've got a mezcal margarita here. I bought mezcal, bit of triple sec, and I put a load of watermelons in a blender, and a little bit of lime juice and some cayenne pepper. Spicy mezcal margarita.
Sounds interesting.
Very much up my alley. I'm always into spicy tequila drink.
Sierra Nevada.
Nice.
Kai likes that. He likes a pale ale. And then it's your real favorite,
the Lancaster. Oh wait, I'm on.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
All the
American beers.
Why don't we actually jump into that portion? This is like one of my favorite part, because I'm always really hungry before we get on to the segment. Again, for anyone tuning in, I am here live with Gorgon City. We are about to eat some food. So basically what we do is the guests, including myself, will either order locally to support our local restaurants. Many people will cook at home to work on their health, or because they're a bit too far away from, I guess, restaurants they can order from during COVID. So you guys go first. So you guys showed me your drinks. Kai, did you order food?
Yeah, I ordered, to go with my mezcal margarita, I got Mexican food.
Ooh.
Right. Nice.
I like.
Just put your name on it, mate.
Yeah, so this restaurant's called Mercadito in Chicago, and it's like my favorite Mexican place in the city. Love it here. So I've got chips and guacamole. I've got an arbol salsa, and then I got a habanero salsa that's like almost too hot to eat.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can Brits eat
Be
spicy
allowed
food? I imagine.
Come on, Kai.
Yeah. And I got I'm a vegetarian, so I got mushroom tacos.
Nice.
But yeah, this
I love a good mushroom taco. Let's see.
But for Matt, that's like 11 p.m. in London, so
yeah. I'll show you what I normally get.
Well, just after eating, but we got some pictures.
Yeah, so this is my taco. mushroom taco.
Yeah.
Down it.
What's the late? What could you guys get late in London? You can get like curry chips or.
Yeah, for me, the one thing that I miss about living in England is a good Indian curry. Like, I've tried all the places around here in Chicago, and like nothing compares to like a proper British curry.
The best curry in the world is in India and in London and Birmingham.
Yeah.
So just the place I ate from earlier.
It's just right.
Wait.
Waiting for the camera to.
There's something about like a sort of English version of curry. We have like vindaloo, which is like crazy spicy curry, and like I think for anyone who visits England, make sure you go and get like a vindaloo from a proper salt of the earth curry house in England. So good.
Yeah.
But the big problem with Indian or like any food here is you cannot get late food. I think this is like the big failure of London.
You can get late food. What are you talking about?
No, but there's no good like food you can get after.
Oh yeah, like good food.
Yeah, it all becomes like
late. Yeah.
I think that'd be like that with anywhere in the world.
But New York, that's it. You never sleep. Get the best food in the world in New York.
There's late night cities in London. I think like for food, it's just not one of them. Although it has a great food scene. I love the Indian food here.
Yeah.
I'm from Sheffield. Reading the live comments.
I'm not so sure.
Oh yeah,
live comments from people watching.
I forgot to mention this earlier too. If anyone watching, if you guys want to send some comments, some questions, we'll put them on the screen later, and we'll answer them at one point during the show. For me, this is actually something I know is also quite good in the UK. I order Jamaican food.
Yeah.
So I live in London. Like West Indian food is like the staple where I live. So we're in Finsbury Park right now, but like about 10 minutes away from here is where I live in Tottenham, and it's all West Indian food, and it's like you can get the best jerk chicken in London like 1 minute walk from my house. If we were at my house, I could walk and get the best jerk chicken and plantain that like you've ever seen, but we're not there, so I can't do it right now.
You can just hold your laptop and walk outside and hold that your Wi-Fi stays connected while you go and order
where I get the jerk chicken from, someone will probably take that laptop and run the other way. They'll probably be on a scooter. They'll probably take the laptop and the phone, and they'll go the other way. But yeah, no, we have really good food. We have really good food around here, especially West Indian food.
I'm like a proper hot sauce fiend. Just love all different kinds of hot sauce. And
I make amazing hot sauce.
It's really easy to make your own hot sauce. You like dried chili peppers from like a Mexican market, like some arbol peppers or guajillo peppers or habanero. You toast them up a bit in a pan, and then after you toasted them, get the flavors out, pour them into like a saucepan, vinegar, water, like you can whack like spices in there, salt, garlic, and then cook that for a bit, and then blend it up, and then it's just easy. And then you got a sick hot sauce. And it's like really fun to create, like just make up your own recipes, try out different peppers.
It's funny, like I had never cooked for me before until he moved to Chicago, which was what, like last year, like
about a year ago,
or maybe like 14 months ago or something. And he invited me over for breakfast. Like we've been working together for 8 years, and like it was the first time he invited me over for breakfast. And he made this amazing, obviously Kai's veggie, and he cooked really good veggie food. I knew that already, like, because he spoke to me about making his like black bean patties and like making nice burgers and like using those jalapenos and stuff. And he made this amazing breakfast. It was like, it was kind of like a Mexican sort of veggie breakfast. And then as he like brought it out, there was just like a line of hot sauces, and they all had like homemade kind of labels on them.
Yeah, I didn't know you could.
New merch item, you guys. I might try it. And just have like all your shirts, and then have a bunch of bottles. Ready.
I was like, wow, let me try them, see if they're good. Like, you know, and all of them were absolutely amazing. So they were really good, and that was one of the best like veggie sort of breakfasts I've ever had. So yeah.
Oh, thanks. Cheers.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But it's funny because in those 8 years, I still haven't made Kai breakfast in my house.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Can you?
We keep it business. Keep it just tunes. All we do. We meet up always is just kick drums and and bass lines. That's all we.
Yeah, well, we cook
only
up
breakfast at the airport.
Banging juice.
We cook up beats, bro.
I was like, oh yeah. So I just want to show this place. So it's a local place and it's Black owned. It's from downtown LA and it's called The Beautiful Life. So I got here my jerk chicken and plantains and some sauteed veggies.
Yeah, I love plantains.
This is the really American thing. It's jerk chicken, mac and cheese.
Oh,
I never heard of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You get chicken.
You get mac and cheese on the side. Yeah. Is it like
it's like that was like all in one?
Sliced down the middle.
It's just a bowl.
It's like
of it on top.
It's like a thick mac and cheese. Yeah. So you can.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah. That's a vibe. That's a West Indian. That's a Jamaican thing. That's good.
And then the last thing I got is a
little patty.
Yeah.
Is that veggie?
It's veggie, yeah. So this place is great because they do all vegetarian. They do vegetarian and they do meat. So you can get oxtail, but you can also have vegan. And so it's cool for anyone that's like on the spectrum. It's really, really good. So just wanted to.
Damn, I wish I had the food now. I feel
think
stupid.
I might have to go and eat again.
It's too late here. It's like, you know, when you're like at 11 p.m., you're like, we just got beer. That's all we've got.
I will always find one place open. Usually you can get like Korean food or tacos and.
Yeah, in London you can get chicken burger or kebabs. You can get kebabs. You get kebabs, like Turkish food. Like where we are, especially like between Finsbury Park and Tottenham, it's all green lanes, which is all Turkish food.
I may have to go for a kebab after this.
Food.
Oh man,
it's really good food. It's Turkish food. This whole area where we are is all Turkish, so it turns from Turkish into West Indian. And it's the best in London that you can get, like Green Lanes and then West Green Road. It's that
I feel like in the UK a kebab is looked at as just like late night greasy food, but in LA in particular it's not that easy to find a good kebab, so it's kind of more exotic here and a bit more.
I feel like
a bit more few and far between and not as good because there's not as much competition. So when I'm in the UK,
I feel like the definition of a kebab is so different in America than it is in the UK. Like in the UK, it's just like, you know, the big meat and then you just grind it off and then slap it in a like a polystyrene box.
You're thinking of meat, mate. That's done.
You can find a lot of bad kebabs here too, but you can find
you can find kebab anywhere you want. But it's funny
when you're desperate.
When me and Kai talk about that stuff, like when he's obviously in Chicago and I'm in London, I'm like, oh, I just had the nicest curry, and Kai's always like, oh man, like I miss British curry so much.
Yeah, it's just something about a British curry, especially a vindaloo.
It's really,
it's that in America.
Definitely better.
Why?
It must be hard, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading all the live comments. Someone said TOKiMONSTA should do a collab.
What with us?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Yeah.
We'll get Kidnapped to remix it afterwards.
Yeah. And Kidnap.
All of us. We're going to be a new super group called something. we'll think of a name. I actually want to play some music, so this is good that we're talking about it. You guys have this song "Free Myself." It's Yusuf and the both of you guys. When did this come out?
It's out now.
Yes,
it's out.
In the UK, obviously, we have the BBC, and one of the shows on Radio 1, like BBC Radio 1, they did they called it the Lockdown Link Up, where they got like a load of producers that they play a lot of their music from, and they threw them all into a hat and like drew it out like a soccer Champions League sort of draw out. And they're like, you're going to be linking up with this producer. So we had like
That's so
we had
cool.
like 32 producers, and they all put everyone's names in a hat and drew them out, and just like, okay, you're going to produce a tune with this guy, and we got Drew with Yusef, and then a week later we finished the song with Yusef, and then it got released like a few weeks later.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of cool.
You
Yeah.
guys ready?
Like, yeah, and it came out on Label Circus, so it's out now on Circus. So yeah, let's hear it.
It was released in May. Absolutely. And this is a good moment to drink your beers and to eat some food.
Your pancakes. That bandit.
Yeah.
Wake him up.
This show loves a good animal cameo. Just
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, it's Bandit.
Wakey, sleep.
Hello, Bandit. Oh.
like where's my
Oh,
pet?
Sexy fox dog. That's what that is.
he likes a good scratchy.
Oh! Did you bring him over from the UK or you got him in Chicago?
No, it's that's my fiance's dog.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
little
my God.
a
stepson.
little guy.
Fiance's dog.
Beyonce.
Oh my god. Matt hasn't heard that yet.
I don't know if this is new news, but I'll clap too.
It's not news to me.
I'm just out the loop. But yeah,
It's Matt.
I was not aware. Congratulations, Kai.
Oh, well, you did not know that.
I've been had my head in the sand for a long time. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, is Ali there? Is she there?
Yeah, she's somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So then,
Come on.
wait. Let's see. Let's pull the song back in. Woo.
What are you eating there? Yeah, what's that?
This is the patty.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually a really big one. I cut it in half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a Jamaican patty.
That's veggie patty, yeah?
It's a veggie patty and it has like sauteed greens. I'm not sure what kind, and like onions and garlic. This would be good with the habanero sauce. You know, like the Scotch bonnet sauce. It'd be really good on this.
But the other like Jamaican green is called callaloo. It's like a West Indian spinach. It's what they sell around where I live. Yeah.
I had callaloo for lunch from Granny's.
Callaloo from Granny's, yeah, just round the corner, mate. Finsbury Park.
Did they just saute it?
Yeah, it's just really similar to spinach. It's just West Indian. It's like a West Indian spinach that they grow in Jamaica and Antigua and Barbados and all those places. But round here, it's all that food is all round here. Like but we all
I wish that food was all around here too, but there's more coffee shops than anything. If you guys want a good coffee, come to LA. About all we have here.
LA has really good Mexican food. Like we don't have that in London.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's
you literally
can't.
In
my neighborhood.
Yeah, you can't get good quality, like cheap Mexican food in England. In the whole of the UK, you can't get like.
Yeah, we have Indian food.
Yeah, we have good
Mexican food,
Indian food, and West Indian food, but you can't get good Mexican food in England unless you go to somewhere posh, which is like ridiculously expensive. You spend
I like posh restaurants.
You spend like £25 on a dish in like LA costs like $2. Like you spend like £20 on tacos in London. So those tacos like from a truck in LA, like it's ridiculous.
I think that's how kebab is out here, though. A kebab out here is not as cheap as it is over there. You know,
exactly.
Here you have to go to a restaurant and sit down and like eat it. You can't just like, walk on the street like a guy.
Yeah, it's like the difference in fast food. It's like we have Turkish food, we have like Eastern European food, and it's like you guys have got South American food. We don't really have South American culture here in the UK. You know, Spanish culture in the UK is from Spain. It's not from South America. It's like.
I feel like they have mass East Asian food as well, like Japanese, Korean. They're like
Korean food here is pretty good.
It's way better.
Korea and America are so much more like connected than Korea and the UK.
Yeah.
So like my friends, like they don't know what Korean barbecue is. So I'm like, oh, should we go to barbecue? And they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's when you go to a place and they have like a thing and like they have all the vegetables and then they throw the meat on top and then you like cook it yourself. And they're like, what? No one knows what it is.
Blow their mind.
Yeah.
I just brought my AirPods. Sorry, you guys. Technical difficulties. I'm trying to find it right now. Just so you know that this is real and it's from home.
Yeah.
Well, so you at home right now?
Yeah, this is a corner of my living room. This one is real. This one is fake. This one is real, and this one is fake.
Yeah. My apartment's full of.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Real fake.
Those are real, though, right? Okay.
No, they're the fake ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mix them in together, you know, because like if this one's fake, then you can't tell this one's actually dying. You know?
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. You know, when you're not on tour, you can take care of plants, but then
After,
I don't
you
know.
want to see my real plants? Should I do a little tour?
Yeah, do a little tour, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
That's your plantain.
It's like a loft apartment in. These are the real plants. You see that?
Oh.
Yeah.
And then we got a little llama there with a parrot on the shoulder. Tiger.
I thought you called him a Kiger.
These
Tiger, yeah.
It's a real plant. All these are real. Got a little jungle going on here.
Sick.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice green thumb you have there.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to hide the dead one now. No one can see it. Just kidding.
If we were, I've got like quite a lot of random plants. My girlfriend Jessie is obviously she's got green fingers. Like we say in England, like when someone's very into like plants and gardening, we say that they have green fingers. And she's made our house like amazing and our garden really nice, especially during this period of lockdown. It's like our house is such a nice place to chill. Like I feel so. I've got like a big garden. Like I've got my decks there. I had my studio there for a little bit. Like it's been really nice. But then obviously
we have quite a dark studio in London, so we can't really do the plant life.
But then obviously Jessie, my girlfriend was pregnant when we came back from lockdown. So things kind of changed a little bit. So now I have a baby boy on the way,
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
You have to be like the 30th person I know that's gonna have a kid this year. It's absolutely insane. I'm actually counting them on my fingers. There has to be like more than 20 people I know having a kid this year.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. And maybe it's a like moment in life or something that is happening, but I'm not having a kid, so that's that's the most important news.
It's like nice lockdown. It's like
Yeah.
gotta do something.
No, but like for us, it like happened long before like lockdown. Like we were on tour in Australia,
They all say.
for like 6 weeks or whatever. We had no idea. Like I guess it happened before we went to Australia, and then we came back like literally when lockdown started. We flew back from Australia through Hong Kong, then flew back to London, and then that day, Kai, you probably don't know this, but the day that we landed back from Australia.
Oh, well, that's when you found out.
We found out that morning. We flew back, and then she just was feeling obviously a little bit like, weird and stuff. And then I was just like, let's do the test. And then literally that moment, we found out when we got back from Australia.
No, you got a little Gorgon village coming on.
Oh, I like them. That deserves like a drum roll.
I was chatting to Dolly about it because our other friend Dolly who lives in Ibiza, he's having a baby as well at the same time, a boy. So he was saying we could hook them up as a new DJ duo before they can even talk. So we can set up, a website and an artist name for them, and then start up like a rave for them. Call it Baby Nation. They'll be headlining all of the raves, and then that'll be it. And we'll start up a new Martinez Brothers, basically.
Yeah.
Have you got any?
It'd be like Gorgon Brothers, I guess.
That's our retirement plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the kids do the work.
You guys are gonna, what is it, like a dadager? You guys will like dad manage them?
Yeah, exactly.
Be their agents.
Yeah.
I actually liked earlier you said in the UK you guys say green fingers. In the States we say green thumb. I wonder why it's just a thumb, because it could be just green hands, but it is to have a green thumb over here.
The song is like Dr. Green Thumb.
Yes.
Dr. Green Thumb.
It is. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I love it. That was the first show I ever went to. The first live show I ever saw was Cypress Hill
really?
in London, the Astoria. That was the first time I ever saw like real loud live music. Completely blew my mind.
That must have been amazing.
Yeah, so Cypress Hill changed my life. Like if it wasn't for Cypress Hill, like I wouldn't be making music probably.
Yeah, sorry, I've just realized I called Jessie your girlfriend. You're engaged too.
Yeah, we're engaged. She's my fiance.
We're engaged.
Yeah.
Fiancés.
Yeah. Fiance.
Sometimes it's like I feel like that's sometimes a cringy word to say. Like when you go, "Oh, that's my fiance."
A little bit. Just kidding.
Yeah. Do you think
I'm sure it's lovely.
Yeah.
It is kind of creepy, right?
Yeah. Both engaged.
Yeah, Jesse just texted me saying, Matthew, I'm your fiance, your girlfriend. Thank you very much. So there we go.
I mean, like, sometimes fiance sounds a bit.
Anyway, sorry.
I actually have a friend who refused to call her fiance who refused to call her fiance a fiance because it just sounded too adult because they were a little bit younger.
Yeah.
So she basically called him her boyfriend until they got married, and then it was husband.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got it.
Yeah, I used to say my missus.
Yeah.
Mrs. Yeah.
Such a cute
thing. There's something about the word fiance that sort of sounds a little bit cringy sometimes.
Yeah. Tended to be weird.
I can't imagine a Wickham boy saying fiance. It's just like my missus.
I actually want to play this song. It's called "You Better Repent." So it's from Sam Gerling, and I want to play it because you guys released it on your label this month.
Yeah, he's a guy from the UK. I think he must be only like 20 years old, but he's like an amazing producer, and he has like this really unique production style, and it's just everything about what he does is just raw sounding, which is kind of like rare to get nowadays. just that sort of raw production vibe, and it just sounds like ravey and ready to go. And you know, like, yeah, it's just, he's just got like a unique sound.
Yeah,
like, yeah, the word raw is, I describe his music.
When we first
very talented, unique kind of producer, and like we're really excited about him.
Yeah, we basically said we want to sign him for like a 4-single deal. So we signed him to our label. So yeah, check out Sam Gerling. He's an amazing producer.
Yeah, he's a sick producer, really unique.
So You Better Repent by Sam Gerling playing now.
I'll bring it back.
Dude, so tight.
Yeah.
Oh, kitty cat.
Yes. Hello, Ali.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Matt? Miss you.
Good. Yeah, miss you too. What's that cat called again? What's
Kit.
the name?
Well,
he's got like 30 names. We called him Outlaw, then Peter, then Henry, then Paul.
What's the name now, though?
Kit.
Just Cat, really. Just a cat.
It's Kit.
Kit.
All right. Okay.
My cat's sleeping on the sofa
Hey,
over there.
I missed you, Ali. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, babe.
Miss you, Matt.
This is amazing that like 303 like acid bass line in this
Yeah,
song is
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's just got a proper raw production style.
I completely understand what you mean now, especially when you say that. It's funny because like I've always had this thing with acid, like 303, depending on the kind of like acid sound, it not jiving very well with me. But this is amazing.
Really? What, you don't like the sort of 303 sound?
When it gets really squelchy.
Oh, what when you turn up the resonance and it's like
a little bit, yeah.
That's why I brought
But
this
then
picture.
this is perfect.
Have you tried this new thing, this TD3?
Oh, it's Roland's like.
It's a replica of Behringer, like Roland, and it works with software, and it's actually really fun. And like I've written like about 4 or 5 new songs just using the pattern from that, and it's just like it's basically just like the same system as a 303, but obviously it's a lot cheaper because all the like vintage 303s are really expensive. And it's on my Behringer, and it's actually easy to use, and it's got obviously extra effects. It's got distortion. It's got stuff that the 303 doesn't have. So I started using it and started making like acid tunes, like
sick
in a way that I've never done before. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I haven't actually played.
Just got to be used in the right way.
Yeah. I haven't actually played. I think maybe one of them earlier, but yeah.
I feel like I tend to agree. Like 9 out of 10 acid tunes, I can't get on board with, and then there's like one that will just be.
Yeah.
Whereas it's such a like an overdone thing, but when it's done right.
And just like learning this bit of kit, literally it costs like £120. Like I don't know, like maybe $180 or something.
Yeah.
Learning how to program it like on the machine is a completely different experience. Like, you know, you've got the software, and then you can send the like MIDI, and you can affect like the synth like when it's running from MIDI, but like nothing compares to making your own pattern on the actual box, and then recording that audio into the computer, and it sort of transformed the way I've like thought about sort of acid lines and bass lines. It's been like really fun. And it literally cost like 120.
And like
so good
about music, like
and also,
I remember a couple of years ago I saw your TOKiMONSTA's like was it Explained?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that blew my mind. That was like so interesting hearing about.
I mean, it's not very common for anyone to ever kind of experience what I experienced, but for anyone who's not aware, it's Vox has this show on Netflix called Explained, and they do like great work. So it's these like 10 to 20 minute mini documentaries on different subjects. Like there was one on like monogamy, there's one on like gender gap, there's one on cults. And so they did one on music and the brain, and I was a part of that because I had like crazy brain surgery and actually couldn't talk anymore for a while. So they like talked to my surgeon and all that stuff. It was really crazy. Yeah, and I couldn't understand music.
Yeah, that was
but here I am.
That was really interesting to watch. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, you know. And we realize right now that you know, something like that is really serious and it's really troubling and difficult when you're going through it. But at the end of that, if you can just kind of triumph through it, you can end up here and I can listen to music, I can make music, I'm here with you guys, and just grateful every day to experience this, you know.
So how do you feel now after all of that, you know, experience going through lockdown and sort of like this whole, you know, period where we all know that things are going to change and the way we're going to perform and stuff? Like, how do you feel your kind of future is going to, you know, play out? Like, how do you feel with all of that?
I guess it's like all of us, right? You know, touring in the electronic world is the vast majority of like how a lot of us, you know, feed ourselves, you know, pay our rents, pay our mortgages and things like that. Because music was already this thing that became almost promotional. You know, you can only make so much out of streams. And I think that eventually, you know, we're going to have vaccines, there'll be some kind of standard, and people will be able to go out again and hang out. I do think it'll be funny when people hit on each other at bars, because if everyone's wearing a mask, you don't really know what's going on for either, you know?
And it's so hard to like see what people's expressions are like. Or like, am I laughing or am I angry?
No, I
think it's a good thing.
With once we get the stamps to be like, you got the antibodies, then you're good. That's gonna
how do you hit on someone when you're like that? Like, is it all in the eyes?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be really curious to find out later that this is not what you thought.
Yeah.
Would
remove the mask, you're like, oh my god, you're butters.
I mean, it's interesting, you know, even talking about all this right now, And in the US, I want to touch on this a little bit because it's been really important for the show. You know, there is this whole Black Lives Matter movement, and it's been um, just this big change in our culture where we're being more cognizant of, you know, injustices done to Black Americans and things like that, probably to dark-skinned people all over the world. And I was wondering, you know, in the UK, they've been doing some protests out there too, but um, what do you think the reaction has been in the UK to the Black Lives Matters movement? Sorry, really hard to say that, but
No,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
curious what your input is, because I'm not sure how it's like over there.
It's obviously like in no way am I trying to say that I'm in like a, you know, a special situation or whatever, but like, you know, I've grown up and been brought up in London like my whole life. Like I'm a Londoner. Like I grew up in Tufnell Park and in Highbury and like in sort of North London, where, you know, going to primary school and going to, you know, as a young child, it was very mixed. It was very sort of multicultural. But, you know, as I did get older, I did start to realize that my upbringing was quite unique. It was quite different to the rest of the UK, the rest of England, the rest of Wales, the rest of Scotland, and the rest of Ireland. Like my dad is Irish, and, you know, he grew up in Belfast during the Troubles, and that was a difficult time. But like he moved to London when he was like, you know, 19, 20. He never went back to Belfast because it was such a horrible place. But then like I grew up in London, where it was normal to be around people who were, you know, from all sides, all parts of the world, you know. Like it was very multicultural. But then as I got older, it was like, you know, it felt like it was normal being around people from all different cultures. But then you start seeing different parts of the country, and you start realizing that the inherent systematic racism is actually much more prevalent than what I experienced growing up as a child.
I've really like been able to notice that.
And I never really kind of thought of that until quite recently in that way, because, you know, like I had that upbringing, and I live in London. I've always lived in London, and I always worked with people who are from different parts of the world, who are mixed race, and making music with people from all around the world. And I always thought that, you know, I was part of the solution rather than the problem. And I always felt like that as a Londoner. I always thought like, you know, they're all racist, like, you know, in like up north.
America? No, it's kidding.
It's been really cool in Chicago to be taking part in like the protests that have been going on here, and it's like, yeah, it just feels like
I felt
to be part.
Like I'm cool with it, but then recently, but as it's all come back around again, and like you know, I've basically, what I've done is I've started reading about the, you know, the sort of stance of being someone who thinks that they aren't racist. Do you know what I mean? Like I thinking like, you know, all the people that I grew up with, like, you know, my best friend when I was a kid was black, and like, I don't want to even say that because it sounds like I'm kind of got an excuse for, like, you know, being racist. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like, I thought, because basically the bottom line is, because I thought I was from London, I'm not eligible for any of that stuff. But now it's like I'm starting to read through it and starting to see the actual like reality of it. I understand that I am definitely part of a systematic kind of like you know, format that is completely uncontrollable by someone like me. Like I can't.
And just to give like a reality check on the, like, obviously I moved to London 8 years ago and have been like part of this like liberal London bubble where these things are like fairly unthinkable. But having grown up in the north of the country before that, racism is much more prevalent than, or like in my experience of it, and I feel like it's still there to this day. Well, I mean, I grew up in Sheffield, but like I can give my reading on the north of the country, like, or like I don't know, anywhere that isn't this like tiny little bubble in which we live.
I basically have realised that I'm completely oblivious and blasé of the fact that I think I'm not racist. Like, you know, loads of the girlfriends that I've gone out with growing up have been like mixed race, black. Like, I think that it's not even an issue.
But this is the
now this has happened. I've realised that this is completely. I've been completely oblivious to any of it.
Yeah.
And I know that I need to learn. I need to read, and I've started doing that. And I am completely fully dedicated to that right now. Like, I know it sounds lame, but like, you know, all my audio books are, you know, I've just finished White Frigidity, and that was really interesting, learning about from a white female point of view of how it is, you know, in America, and that's taught me a lot, and I want to learn more, and that's all I can say.
And that's all we can do, you know. We can learn, understand our privilege. Oh my god, my laptop's gonna die. Okay, sorry guys.
So I could go on for hours about this. It's difficult, especially with me and Kai as well. Like, Gorgon City was built on, like, the Gorgon Don, like Ninja Man from Jamaica. Like, loads of our music is built on Jamaican music, from black music, and we know that, and we're never gonna pretend that that's not the case. Like, Gorgon City is built on black music. Like, we're not. It might be house music, it might be more poppy, but like, we know that. Yeah.
100%. I think that's
anyway,
the thing that we can do as
I don't want to, like,
you know.
Go overboard.
I know. I mean, I think it's good for everyone watching that to know that for us as artists and musicians, we're really indebted to Black culture, because, you know, house music came from Chicago. It came from all the music, whether it's rap, whether it's electronic, blues, all that rock and roll. It all came from Black culture, and I think for us to just do our part in staying cognizant and aware and pushing the needle forward is all we need to do. But thanks for talking about it with me, you guys. I know it's not always easy, but it's so important for us to do that.
Definitely, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah. But, you know, hopefully good things will happen. Like, all of this will create like a nice paradigm shift to something. Nothing will ever be the same, but maybe different is good. You know, it's better. So
but, you know, like, me and Kai grew up, you know, on that culture, like jungle, drum and bass, garage, like that whole UK culture. Like, music is influenced by sort of West Indian, Jamaican music.
Sound system. Yeah,
and that's why our sub bass sounds like how it sounds. We copied the way they mix their sub bass, you know, at Notting Hill Carnival and at drum and bass raves. That's why we, you know, make a separate channel for the sub, and we cut the sub out of all the other basses, and that's why our basses sound like they do. Because
they're big and bubbly.
Because we got taught through sound system culture, which is West Indian black culture, from London, from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from, you know, Antigua, from the whole of the Caribbean. Like, if it wasn't for that culture, when it came to sound systems, like that sub-low presence, like, our music wouldn't sound like it does. We owe it all to that sound system culture. Do you know what I mean? And that's something which we have in common. That's why me and Kai make music together. If it wasn't for that sub bass, that sub low culture, me and Kai would have never even met that night when we first met in the UK and started making tunes together. And Gorgon City wouldn't be a thing.
That's a big statement. We all owe something, you know. Back to Black culture. I want to actually move back to the music again. Speaking of music and all the things that we make, that's amazing. You have a song with Sophie Tucker. Did you guys know that they were on my show towards the beginning?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know before. I'd never even I'd heard of them through my manager, but we hadn't even spoken about working with them before we got sent house arrest. But we got sent, you know, our manager was like, oh yeah, these guys are interested in working with you guys, and then we heard their song.
They sent over the
and also we realized that
it was proper sick, and they actually started writing the track before all the COVID stuff happened. And we started working on it. That was the last track that me and Matt wrote together in the actual studio before we parted ways for COVID, and we worked on it for a bit. And then when the lockdown happened, it just seemed like, oh God, these lyrics seem to make so much more sense now, and it's just like everything fell into place. And then so Sophie and Tuck wrote the second verse to it that's more about the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just seemed like a sort of serendipity where the song's called House Arrest, and we actually wrote the track before all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of crazy. So yeah, we like adjusted the lyrics to make it more about what's going on now, and then we worked on it, and like yeah, we couldn't be happier with how it's gone down. Like
yeah, it's crazy.
It's
so it is very serendipitous, because actually when they were on my program, it was like just a couple 2-3 weeks into quarantine.
Oh
they
yeah,
actually played it. They actually played it. So I played it. So this is great, because now I'm going to play it again, and now everyone would have heard it, because I think before it was kind of like.
So did they play the version that we'd worked on? Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. They had already been DJing it in their like little DJ that they do online. So now full circle, I get to hear it with you guys again. Ready to eat some more.
This is house arrest. La da di da di da da. I learned how to measure before I knew what was size. I sing you to sleep. Do you like my lullaby? La Luna, they let you treat your sadness with a smile. You can't have what's next till you hang with it for a while. This is house arrest. Come but wear your Sunday best. This is house arrest. La da di da di da da. I learned how to measure before I knew what was size. I sing you to sleep. Do you like my lullaby? La Luna, they let you treat your sadness with a smile. You can have what's next till you hang with it for a while. This is house arrest.
How you got your cat?
He was sleeping, so he's like.
What cat is that? What kind of cat is that?
Cute cat.
Yeah.
He's a Scottish fold, so he has like the little ears that go like this.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
What kind of cat is it?
A Scottish fold?
Ah, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Cute.
Scottish, right?
Was so
Cute
cute.
cat.
He's a chomp.
He's a little chunky boy, yeah.
The way our cat's hiding from us because we clipped his nails earlier for the first time ever, and he was not happy.
He didn't like it. He's not happy at all.
They don't like that. He's going.
Yeah.
My cat's pretty docile, so if you catch him at the right moment, he'll let you do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like pure terror.
Yeah.
It's not like getting their nails clipped. It's scary.
One thing we've bought our cat, like tried buying our cats so many like cat toys and stuff. But one thing that he loves is zip ties, you know, like cable ties.
Yes.
He would like go crazy for them.
Yeah.
For some reason, he just
them to
loves
bed.
cable ties.
Yeah. My cat really likes hair ties, like just like round hair ties that you use to clip your hair. He'll find them, and they're just buried all over my place.
Cats are so weird.
Yeah. Good boy.
Yeah.
I just gotta step in my food. Hold on.
Having a pet appreciation moment.
Yeah.
Talking about cats.
Cats.
Yeah. Cats.
It's so like, Kai, the first time we ever like stay a little bit late, and there's just like a party going on outside, and the fire alarm just went off.
Really? What, there's other people? Yeah, I haven't been to the London studios in months.
I had to call Gary and be like, yeah, he was just like, yeah, the fire alarm went off. And he was, and then Odie came out who's another guy from our studio who probably, hopefully, isn't watching.
Oh,
No, but he was just like, "Have you guys been smoking?" We're like, "No, we don't smoke. We haven't been smoking." But then, like, I walked out into the corridor and loads of like guys smoking weed outside. They set out the fucking the fire alarm in the
you
whole
can
building.
cuss on here.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, but now they're all out there again.
Oh dear.
What shall I do?
What are we gonna do?
Shall I call the council, mate?
Oh. Okay.
You
Guys,
dressing up
make the
as
drink.
the council.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, right, he's making.
No
So-
longer in my show.
So okay, that cat looks very nice.
Yeah, that's a beautiful cat. Please try and find out.
You guys are about to see
Yeah,
a Dana.
let's bring that into
Sorry, it's Darius. Hey, I'm gonna have to move.
That's exactly what people want to see. A cat's eye on the live stream.
Ours kids.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, he's pissed because we clipped his nails earlier.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Is there another song we can hear?
Okay.
Animal hour.
You matter like.
My cat sheds a lot.
Yeah, right. Can we talk about music? Cat.
So actually, we are like kind of
I've got
nearing the end.
a replica BB3, which is actually really fun to play with.
Don't have to feed it either.
But you don't have to feed it either, with electricity. It's quite easy to use. Anyway.
Actually, let's answer a question from
Yeah.
someone. Okay, so someone asked.
I bought one too.
Yes, mate. Yes. Yes, I didn't know you bought one.
Yeah. I bought one too. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. What were you saying? You got a question.
I'll send you
someone
this
asked a
thing I made
question.
it literally today. Sorry.
So for both of you guys, Kai Matt and Kidnap Matt too, where is your favorite place to perform in the United States?
Ooh. I think like when we first started touring the States, there's like a sound bar in LA was like one of our favorite spots. But I think maybe, well, yeah, one moment like in my whole life that like rarely I get like goosebumps on my shoulders and like my arms. Like one place like is Printworks in London. The other place is Red Rocks, Colorado.
Oh
When
yeah.
we played there, like it was just, there's just something about that venue that's like magical. Red Rocks, Colorado is just like insane and like literally makes your hairs stand up, and it's something like that venue that's crazy. Magical.
It's a beautiful venue, and it sounds great there too because of all the acoustic from the rocks that are around the outside.
The natural theatre is just like.
Yeah, that was like one of the moments I'll always remember playing at Red Rocks. Insane.
And then in the UK, your favorite venue to play is Printworks.
Yeah, I think so. Printworks.
Yeah.
Printworks is another venue that like gives you goosebump vibes.
Super
What
cool
about you?
venue.
What about for you? What's your favorite American and English venue?
What's your favorite venue in America?
Let's see. I guess if I were to say like a club that means something to me, it was this club called Low End Theory, and I guess it's a defunct club now.
Low End.
That
rings a.
That's the
So
thing.
Low End Theory was a club night, and it was in Lincoln Heights, which is close to Chinatown, and it was this weekly event that was every Wednesday, and it would be like people like me, Flying Lotus, like Marianne Hobbs would DJ there. Sometimes Tom York would come by, Erykah Badu. A lot of people from the scene that I was from. It's like the LA beat scene and in that era. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth, and it's very meaningful for me, even though it's now a retired club.
Yeah.
And I can't
That whole that whole sort of world is very high end. It's very sort of like intricate, and it's it's something that us lot are very big fans of. It's something that we're sort of basically
I'm like a huge Tom York fan. Like, I've been
down. It's basically we're not worthy.
I think I missed.
We're
I
not.
might have missed that one.
It was a very it was very cool.
It was a part of it was a scene that like all of us thought were just like, this is incredible, like we're not worthy of this sound. Like it's something that you go and see. It's not something that we were part of. It was something that you wanted to be part of.
Just wanted to be a fan of.
You just want, we were just massive fans of that world. It was a big thing, especially like, that whole LA sort of like fly low thing. It's an amazing thing. Yeah.
It's cool when like music has a moment, right? And that just shapes everyone else. And I feel like I was shaped by listening to music growing up, like listening to like Aphex Twin or things like Wu-Tang Clan. Maybe kids will listen to that era. People will listen to you guys, and you guys will inspire a whole generation of new artists. It's pretty cool, right? I think it's cool.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff are you working with at the moment? Like, who are you working with? Is there any like artists that you're working with right now that you're really excited about? It's funny because I
excited by a lot.
That question. Just realised. It's normally like people are like
interviewee comes to interviewer.
I completely understand what you said. I
don't know. Who are you working with?
Yeah. Because normally me and Kai are like, I have no idea. But we worked with someone yesterday and it was really good, but we don't know what happened. We don't know who. And it's like I completely understand if you say the same thing. Because I just realised that I've never asked anyone that question before. So I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? Have you ever had it when
I'm genuinely interested. I'm genuinely interested in who you're watching.
I guess for now, if I think of, I guess I have a track with Channel Trust. He's not like super underground. I mean, Channel Trust is doing some really cool things right now, but I have a track with him that I'm really excited.
Oh, Ali's a big fan.
Oh, wait. Of who? Channel Trust. Channel Trust, yeah. He's sick. If you guys haven't heard his stuff, you guys
I'm so sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who is he? Is he a singer or rapper? Or
a little bit
of both. Yeah. A little bit of both.
Yeah, he's really
cool. He does a lot.
You heard his stuff for sure.
And
me and Kai are a bit like trying to make our own music.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to work with anyone right now because of coronavirus. So I'm mostly just working with myself and trying to work on my guitar skills. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, I tried to do that. I brought my guitar home and then I tried to play again, and then I just then I get a message from like our manager being like, or Kai being like, oh yeah, that tune, you should work on it and finish it. And I'll just like go on the computer and obviously finish it in the way that we know, like using synthesizers. And I finished that. Like, oh yeah, I should try and play the guitar again.
Yeah, I think it's like you know, it's a good time to like experiment and do something that you wouldn't normally do. And like, you know, I bought a kalimba. I've been playing that kalimba.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it in one key? What key is it in? Is it in F?
I think it's like an A minor key.
All right, so it's
easy
going, yeah.
It's sick though. Like, I really want to do a tune with this.
You guys should. I mean, it's a beautiful sound. Oh, it actually has a lot. I haven't seen it with so many.
This is the collab. This is the collab. Just record this so we.
Beautiful, right?
You guys heard it here. The next Gorgon City single.
It's like I really want to do a challenge to myself where I'd make a whole tune on a kalimba. It's like,
but it's all in the same key, so you can actually do in the right scale. So you can actually write a little riff.
No wrong notes with that thing. Single.
Sick, bro.
#1 on the charts. Actually, our show is about to wrap up, but I want to play this last song because it's unreleased, so I have to play it. So good. So you guys did a remix of Celas?
Oh yeah.
Salas.
Yeah, Salas. Yeah, it's actually Felix from Basement Jacks, who's like we're a massive fan of him. Like obviously Basement Jacks was a big part of our childhood, and he started this new side project for himself, and he released this on Defected, and the vocal is like incredible. And it was like an honor to work with him on this, because we actually worked with Basement Jacks a few years ago on some of their releases, and they're like just really cool guys, like amazing producers, like a big part of like our inspiration of who we are as music producers. Basement Jacks, like, you know, they're classics. They have so many classics, and
legendary.
Yeah, legend. They're dance music legends.
Yeah,
and
Felix, his new name is Selassie, and it's like it was an amazing opportunity to make a remix of it, and it's like it's taken a while for it to actually get the go ahead, and now we know that this tune is going to be coming out in the next couple of months on Defected. It's taken a long time for it to get okayed. But yeah, big up Simon Dunmore.
It's worth the wait, I'm sure.
Actually, on this remix, Ali did the guitar licks on this remix.
Oh,
yeah,
get it,
I was
girl.
working on the remix, and I was like, this song needs something. And then Ali came in, like, did the guitar licks on it. So that's her playing it.
Don't forget to give her credit.
10%, yeah, 10%.
She's not going to get any publishing, but
no points. This is on the next one, though. On the next one, you can have
off
yeah. Okay, so the song is called "So Hooked on Your Loving," and it's the Gorgon City remix by Selassie. Yeah. So I'll work on that. Unreleased, you guys.
Exclusive.
You got Simon Dunmore coming out soon. Detective. What is that? That's that.
So good. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. So, how long ago did you guys make this song? Because it said you mentioned it took a while for it to get cleared.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's kind of
at least 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a complicated one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a different sound for Defected, because it's almost like a little bit techno-y. Like the drums are quite like pounding techno-y vibe, which isn't really sort of Defected vibes. But I think we heard the original. It's like, you know, we can't make the original better, so like let's switch it up and just do something completely different. I think
that's the best thing about a remix, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, was that was like Defected, you know, we were, you know, thinking about going forward and playing at Defected in Ibiza, and we got a remix through, and like we wanted to make a remix which was going to bang in the clubs in Ibiza. You know what I mean? And we made that remix, and we were expecting it to be a big song of the summer, but obviously when it got, you know, accepted and listened to by Simon Dunbar at Defected, it was like it was all about live streams, and there was no sort of like forward thinking about how it would sound in the clubs. And obviously we don't know how people are going to react to it in the clubs, but
yeah, I can't wait to play it in a club though.
Playing it on live streams, we played it in the Defected live streams, and then playing it on other live streams. So many people have messaged us being like, this tune's amazing, who did this remix? And we couldn't say anything because obviously it was like a secret. Now we can say it's us, and it's like it's been accepted by Defected, and it's like now we're
it's kind of like difficult, like being away from clubs for so long to make club music when you've been so like detached from that world, like to sit at home and make it big club bangers, and like not knowing the next time you're going to be able to play this in like a club or festival. And it is hard to get inspired at the moment. If you have like all this spare time, all this like time to make music, like you kind of feed off that inspiration you get from being around clubs and festivals and around people and like hearing sounds from like huge sound systems. It is difficult sometimes like to make music in that way.
Yeah, because the only reactions we get is from the live streams, it's from the label owners, it's from
and it's so different to playing music.
Kai used to making a tune on a Wednesday and playing it in front of 5,000 people on a Friday. That's the way we've worked, and now we haven't had that for 4 months. And so every time we make a tune, it's like, do people like it? The only way we have to like confirm the fact that this tune is actually good or this remix is actually good is from doing live streams, and it's like that's all we've got at the moment. So we're hanging on the edge, like we're working our asses off in the studio, but like we don't know if people actually like it or not. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, people are gonna like it. It's great. I like it.
The same thing.
But when we get that positive feedback, it's nourishing for me and Kai to have that. Do you know what I mean? Without that, we've got, at the end of the day, we've got nothing. We've just got each other's word being like, I'll send something to Kai and Kai will be like, yeah, that's sick. He'll send something to me, I'll be like, yeah, that's sick. And we'll be like, all right, let's let other people hear it. We don't know if they're going to think it. We don't know if they're going to think it's good or not. Do you know what I mean? And then when we hear that feedback, we're like, yeah, it's sick. We'll be like, cool, we can chill and make another one. Do you know what I mean? But that's so different to what we're used to. But like, but we're grateful for the fact that we can do something like this where we can actually talk to people and play people our music. So
I mean, it's been really great listening to all of it, especially the songs that you guys are releasing on your label too. You guys are doing a very good job like curating the artists and the sounds for your label, and I imagine you guys probably have more stuff coming out on Realm, right?
We've got like new talent, like guy called Carl Kinch, who we're like big fans of, and a duo from New York called Local Dialect, who make like a lot more melodic stuff and like sort of like deep melodic house, and we're like really excited about them.
That's tough to say.
I love their stuff, like and like they pretty much make all their stuff just on analog gear. They just have they have their drums and they have like a Prophet and a Moog, and like that's all they do. And they're really talented, and it's like really sick that we found them.
Yeah, we wish we could release Kidnap music as well, but he's left on our camp.
What have you got coming up, Matt? Yeah. What have you got coming up?
I have. What's next? Next thing is collaboration with Lane 8 in 2 weeks.
Ooh, nice.
He played a live stream earlier, and he was like, "Yeah, this is me and Lane 8."
I was sick. I want to hear.
It's like basically He's like, we tried to make a better version. He said we tried to make a better version of Roped In.
No, I didn't try and make a better version. Basically, we approached we had a.
We'll get together and we'll make a better version.
I did not say
that. Like Lane ain't kidnapped. Better Roped In than Gorgon City.
This is complete bullshit.
That's exactly what you said.
Friendly competition, you guys.
No, what I said was,
I think better than Roped In anyway.
What I said was, right, me and Dan had 2 days. I was staying at his house in Colorado, and I was like, it was just after Roped In. I was like, what I want to do is rip off Roped In. I don't want to make a better version of it. So yeah, we sat down and basically made our. We're just gonna rip this off.
That's how all the best songs ever made is like, I want to rip off this.
Yeah,
I think
that
that's
is
amazing and unique.
yeah.
I
feel like
it sounds great. Like I was like, "What's this tune?" Like, yeah, this is a tune that ripped off Roped In. I was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, can I have it?
Yeah. So we made our own version of it. And I think it's come out great. It's like it's different, but it's still
good.
Once you know this, you'll be able to tie it together.
I truly believe like the best music's when it's truly original. And then we're like,
yeah. So that's the next one.
Anyway,
things after that. But
That's
I feel like
great.
we did a good job. We like half ripped it off, and it's half original. So
we're exposing ourselves too much now. Just rip off other people's music.
So we'll look forward to that then. Kidnap and Lane 8 in a couple weeks. And
Yeah,
then
that actually sounds amazing.
We're gonna look forward to this amazing mix that we just played right
don't
now.
tell anyone that originally it was the Gorgon City song. Just don't tell anyone else.
Everyone out there on the internet, this is a secret. But you guys, I want to say thank you so much, Matt, Kidnap, and Kai, so much for joining me today and just having a good time. I hope you guys had fun. I had tons of fun talking with you guys and listening to amazing music.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other at a festival or something sometime soon.
Maybe it'll just be. Well, I'll see you guys on a live stream.
Yeah.
You won't see me watching, but in the future, I truly believe we'll hang out, have a spicy margarita.
Yeah.
Some tunes.
Yeah.
And for everyone tuning in right now, thank you so much. Please tune in again next week, next Thursday. We're gonna have Little Boots and Sisters of Sound. So thank you all so much and have a great day.